Tony,
Why do you think the Browns are going out of their way to mention Dylan Gabriel? Could there be something else like Aaron thinks maybe they want to try and deal him?
I think that's how you manufacture a trade, manufacture interest, is keep talking up a player. Andrew Berry did it at the combine. I don't think there was any intent on.
That's not speculation. That's a media insider telling you exactly what's happening behind closed doors in Cleveland. Andrew Berry mentioned Dylan Gabriel at the combine. The new coordinator name-dropped him first in a press conference, and now analysts are saying it's all smoke and mirrors. They're building up his trade value, and if you've been following the Browns' front office moves this offseason, the pattern is unmistakable.
It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video, and it looked like there is troubling news coming out about Dylan Gabriel. And just like I told y'all the other day, bruh, it's about to get real for good old Dylan boy. Y'all, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Cleveland. Let's get it. Let's go. Now, I did a video a few days ago explaining to y'all my theory about the Dylan Gabriel situation and how
Dylan Gabriel was supposed to be the future. Last year at this time, the Browns were talking about him like he was the answer to their quarterback problems. He got the first team reps in training camp before Shadeur Sanders even arrived. The coaching staff praised his arm strength, his decision-making, his leadership, and then he got hurt, and the moment he went down, everything changed. Since that injury, Gabriel hasn't thrown a single pass in a game. He hasn't even been seen at practice holding a football. Radio silence.
Yeah,
Well, I came away from Indy thinking that the Browns were pretty content, and I don't know if that's exactly the right word, but that they were pretty ready to go forward with Deshaun Watson and Shadeur Sanders and see what they could do with those two guys in a competition, and then which one of those could emerge from that and what that player can do this season. Because they don't have a lot of money to spend on another quarterback, and there just are not a lot of really good quarterbacks, veteran or rookie, that they can have access to this season. So I came away thinking.
Mary Kay Cabot knows the Browns organization as well as anyone covering the team. She's been reporting on them for over 2 decades. When she says the Browns came away from the combine ready to move forward with Deshaun Watson and Shadeur Sanders, that's not a guess. That's information coming from inside the building. The front office has made a decision. They're going with the veteran who's owed guaranteed money and the rookie who finished the season as the starter. Dylan Gabriel doesn't fit into that equation anymore.
That they probably were going to march forward with what they have in the room. But once again, anything can change on a dime when we get to this point in the NFL season. With the league year about to open next week. Last year at this time, not last year, in 2022 at this time, we had no idea that Deshaun Watson was going to be landing on the doorstep. At that time, they were prepared. They were looking around, but they were also prepared to go forward with Baker Mayfield. And then
here's what makes this situation particularly revealing. The Browns just traded away a 5th-round pick to Houston to acquire an offensive lineman. That's the same 5th-round pick they got when they moved on from another player earlier this offseason. Now they need draft capital back. And how do you get draft picks? You trade assets. Dylan Gabriel is an asset. He's young, he's got potential, and if you pump up his value enough in press conferences and media availability, some team desperate for quarterback depth might bite. That's exactly what Cleveland is doing right now.
And things changed. And they changed drastically. And even the Browns were surprised that Deshaun Watson was going to come here and that happened that way. So you can never really predict how things are going to go until all the pieces and parts start moving and the deals start happening.
Now, that was Mary Kay this morning on 92 The Fan, and she also gave some clarity on this Kyler Murray situation. I don't believe Kyler Murray is going to Cleveland. Hell no.
All right, Kyler Murray, the possibilities of him coming to Cleveland are?
Well, I don't know really what the possibilities are, but if I were the Cleveland Browns, I would be kicking the tires on Kyler Murray. I would be checking into it. I would be reaching out to his agent. I don't know if they have done that yet or not, but I would certainly be doing that. I would not be surprised if they have or will.
The Kyler Murray situation adds another layer to this. Murray just became available after Arizona decided to move in a different direction. He's a former Pro Bowler who's actually played meaningful snaps in the last 2 years, unlike Deshaun Watson, who hasn't started a full season since 2020. If the Browns can get Murray at a discount, they suddenly have 3 quarterbacks competing for 2 roster spots. Watson's guaranteed money means he's not going anywhere. Sanders proved himself as a rookie. That leaves Gabriel as the odd man out. But here's what's fascinating about the timing. The Browns didn't start floating Gabriel's name until after the combine, after they'd already had conversations with other teams about available quarterbacks. This wasn't organic, this was strategic. Andrew Berry is one of the smartest general managers in football. He doesn't accidentally mention players in press conferences. Every word is calculated.
Because that's what you do when you say you're leaving no stone unturned in your quest to find your starting quarterback, and a Pro Bowler like that becomes available, or a former Pro Bowler becomes available, then you do go out and you check into it. So that's what I would be doing. And if you can get him at a bargain basement price, why not take a flyer on him? He might be someone who could come in here and help you, because even though you're intrigued and excited about what Deshaun Watson brings to the table, no one really knows what he's going to be able to do so far removed from a full season of starting. And then Shadeur Sanders has shown a ton of promise, and as Todd Monken has stated, has elite ability and elite playmaking ability. But Kyler Murray has done it more recently than them. He's had some injuries, but he's had some really nice seasons. And when you surround a guy like that with a really good defense, a good running game, and some talent, who knows what he might be able to do.
Tony Grossi has covered Cleveland football for 40 years. When he says the new coaching staff views Shadeur Sanders as the #1 quarterback heading into the offseason, that's based on actual conversations with people inside the organization. The coaches who ended the season with Sanders are the same coaches making decisions about the depth chart going forward. They saw him handle pressure, make throws under duress, lead the offense in crucial moments. Gabriel never got that opportunity because of his injury. And in the NFL, if you're not on the field, you don't exist. The body language from the coaching staff tells you everything you need to know. New offensive coordinator Todd Monken was asked about the quarterback situation last week. The first name out of his mouth was Dylan Gabriel. Not because Gabriel is first on the depth chart, but because that's the name they're trying to sell. When reporters asked follow-up questions about Sanders, Monken's tone completely changed. He talked about Sanders' elite playmaking ability, his poise, his football IQ. Those aren't the words you use for a backup quarterback.
Now, there was Mary Kay speaking about the Kyler Murray situation. Now, there is one more clip that I want to show you guys about this Dylan Gabriel thing, because I just find it to be just real funny to me that they did all this hyping with Dylan, bro. And they finna send him on his way, bro. This is so funny, dog. Is
Shadeur definitely ahead of Gabriel now, Tony?
Yeah, I think so. I think the coach, the new staff, it's they look at who ended the season as the starter, and it was Shadeur. You know, I've always said that I don't think Andrew Berry's his biggest advocate in there. But I do think the way the season ended, that he's going to be #1, at least to start conversation this offseason.
So that was the latest clip on the Dylan Gabriel situation, man. I want to know y'all thoughts down in the comments section right now. I think Dylan Gabriel's going to leave. And let me know if y'all think he's going to leave too, man. Till next.
Mary Kay brings up something crucial here. The Browns don't have money to spend on another veteran quarterback. Watson's contract is an albatross. They're paying him $46 million this season, whether he plays or not. That money is guaranteed. So if they're going to add someone like Kyler Murray, it has to be at a bargain price, and the only way to create cap space is to move other pieces off the roster. Dylan Gabriel has value to other teams, but he's expendable in Cleveland. That's the cold reality of NFL roster construction. Think about the teams that might be interested. The Raiders just lost their starting quarterback to free agency. The Titans are in rebuild mode and need young talent. The Saints have been searching for a long-term answer since Drew Brees retired. Any of those teams might give up a 4th or 5th round pick for Gabriel, especially if Cleveland keeps talking him up in the media. That's the game being played right now. The Browns are creating a market where one didn't exist 2 months ago.
congregation, dog. We got to have a meeting with you because just like I told y'all yesterday, Dylan is finna get used as an asset pawn, bruh. They want to get some more draft picks. They just got rid of the 5th round draft pick they just got from when they got rid of Kenny Pickett, right? To get the offensive lineman out of Houston. Guess what? They want that damn draft pick back, don't they? Yeah, they do. And guess how they're going to get their draft pick back more than likely? Dylan, old boy, step up. Your ass finna lead a team, bruh. And I'm not the only one that believe this because there is many reports, rumblings behind the scenes. The good old Dylan boy, high praise Dylan ass, is about to get clean, shook, gone up out of here, bruh. Out of here like last year, bruh. They finna send Dylan some.
This is the part that makes the situation almost tragic for Gabriel. 365 days ago, he was the future of the franchise. The Browns had just moved on from Baker Mayfield. They'd signed Deshaun Watson to that massive contract, but Gabriel was supposed to be the developmental piece, the insurance policy, the guy who could step in if Watson struggled. The coaching staff raved about him. Beat reporters wrote feature stories about his work ethic. Fans were excited about having a young quarterback with upside, and then the injury happened. We still don't know the exact details because the Browns have been suspiciously quiet about it. Was it a shoulder injury? A knee problem? The lack of information is telling. If it was minor, they'd say so. If it was season-ending but he's fully recovered, they'd show him throwing at practice. Instead, we've gotten nothing. No updates, no practice footage, no interviews with Gabriel himself. That silence speaks volumes about how the organization views his future in Cleveland. So here's what this all comes down to. The Browns are in an impossible situation at quarterback, and Dylan Gabriel is the easiest piece to move. Watson's contract makes him untradeable. Sanders showed enough as a rookie that cutting him would be organizational malpractice. Gabriel is the only one who can actually be moved for value, and the front office knows it. That's why Andrew Berry mentioned him at the Combine. That's why Todd Monken brought him up first when asked about quarterbacks. That's why Mary Kay Cabot and Tony Grossi are both reporting that trade talks are happening behind the scenes. This isn't speculation anymore. This is a coordinated effort to manufacture a market. The Kyler Murray angle makes it even more obvious. If Cleveland brings in Murray, they're not keeping 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Someone has to go. Watson stays because of the guaranteed money. Sanders stays because he's the future. Murray would stay because he's the veteran insurance policy. That leaves Gabriel on the outside looking in. What makes this particularly ruthless is how quickly the narrative changed. One injury, and Gabriel went from franchise cornerstone to trade bait. That's the NFL. You're only as valuable as your last healthy snap. Gabriel's last healthy snap was 9 months ago, and in that time, the organization has completely moved on. Think about what this means for Gabriel's career trajectory. He's going to get traded to a team that probably isn't very good, because good teams don't trade draft picks for backup quarterbacks. He'll end up somewhere like Las Vegas or Tennessee or New Orleans, teams that are rebuilding and need cheap young talent. He'll compete for a backup job, maybe get some garbage time reps, and hope to rebuild his value. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that he gets traded, doesn't make the roster, and ends up bouncing around practice squads for a couple years before washing out of the league entirely. That's what happens to quarterbacks who get injured at the wrong time and lose their opportunity. The NFL doesn't give you second chances unless you've already proven yourself at the highest level. Gabriel hasn't had that chance yet, and here's the thing that makes this whole situation so predictable. The Browns have done this before. They've hyped up players they're trying to trade, leaked information to friendly reporters, created the appearance of competition where none actually exists. It's a pattern. And right now, Dylan Gabriel is caught in the middle of that pattern. The league year opens next week. That's when trades can officially be processed. That's when we'll see if all this speculation turns into reality. But based on everything we're hearing from Cleveland, based on the way the front office is positioning Gabriel in the media, based on the Kyler Murray rumors and the cap situation and the depth chart dynamics, it's hard to see how Gabriel is still on the Browns roster by the time training camp starts. So the question isn't whether Dylan Gabriel gets traded. The question is what team is desperate enough to give up draft capital for a quarterback who hasn't played in 9 months and wasn't good enough to beat out a rookie for the starting job. That's the market Cleveland is trying to create. And in about a week, we're going to find out if anyone is buying what they're selling. Drop a comment and let me know where you think Gabriel ends up. Raiders? Titans? Saints? Or does he surprise everyone and actually stay in Cleveland? because right now, based on everything we're seeing, staying in Cleveland seems like the least likely option of all.